Here, go for
All
it.
right, so welcome to Forex League live trading sessions Thursday, May 21st. We're going to try to finish this week off strong. We got Saved by FX here, Nick Dark FX here. This will be recorded, thrown on YouTube for you guys to rewatch. As always, we're going to go over all the pairs that we're looking at for today. Nick's going to get started with the dollar index. So we're going to pretty much get right into it with that, and then he's going to cover all the pairs that he's looking at, and I'll get into all the pairs that I'm looking at over the last half hour. If you guys have any questions throughout the session, just drop in the chat, any questions in there. And, as always, let's pretty much get right into it.
All right, so we're going to start off with DXY, right? Oh, host disabled attendee screen sharing.
Let's see. Oh, you can't share?
No.
Multiple. Let's see. Who can share? Only host. Here, now you can share.
Okay.
Let's see.
All right, guys. So we always start off taking a look at DXY, right? So we want to see where the dollar's headed, if anything's changed overnight. Just want to see if it's remaining, if the previous analysis is still holding, right? So we do that because the dollar, is a reserve currency of the world. It makes up for 80% of all trade, and it definitely impacts the rest of the market. So it's always good to stop here first, kind of gain some confidence in the market, see what's happening, and then you can tackle some of the other pairs. So let's go ahead and dissect what's kind of happening here on DXY. If we jump up to a higher time frame, we want to get a better understanding of the overall sentiment, which is clearly bullish, right? You can see there's, it's pretty clear that this is a very strong bullish trend, bullish channel. It just keeps making higher highs. And we can drop down to get a better understanding of what current price action is doing. So we can see recently here, disregard this to the left. This is all news related. This is unnatural market behavior. This in here, this ranging that we're seeing, this constant bouncing between these two levels, this is more normal market structure. It's consolidation on the higher time frame, but it is just ranging on this 4 hour. And we're getting these like micro trends, right? So we're getting these micro bullish trends, these micro bearish trends, micro bullish trends, micro bearish trends, and so on, which is a good sign because it's showing dollar stability. And right now, that's what we need to see. Other clear market structure in other pairs, other currency pairs. So we want to see a stable dollar at the end of the day, and that's what we've been seeing for quite a while now, since early April, late March. This has been ranging pretty well, so it's pretty stable. Right now, we are in more of a bearish trend right here. So we saw this leg lower after it broke out of this rising wedge, and it's heading towards the downside. Now we are expecting more ranging in this area. We could see a reversal at this current level where we are now, or it could push a little bit lower, get a little close to this 98.5 area before we see a reversal. Either way, we're getting towards the bottom of this range, so we should be expecting some sort of reversal. Our short opportunities, should be, kind of fading out here, and we're waiting for more confirmations, more of a confirmation of this continuing to range rather. So, while we're looking for reversals from here, I'm definitely going to be, more long on the dollar as it gets closer to 98.5. But let's say this range eventually is going to have to break, right? So, we want to see it either break this lower 98.5 support level, something like this. Where'd the curve go? For us to consider it, dropping even more, it would need to give us a clear break outside of this range, and then we would start looking for, serious, US dollar weakness, and then we would target lower. Or, if it finally breaks to the upside, which is not super ideal. This range is ideal given the current situation. If you have an overvalued dollar, other fiat currencies will actually suffer. They will, appear weaker in the market, especially, if the dollar is super strong. So, and vice versa. If the dollar just goes to shit, that's not great news either. You never want a rapid move. You always want things to be gradual, especially when you're considering, indices. Like this giant climb here is not ideal for anybody. You want a climb to happen, gradually, again, within a trend, with pullbacks, with normal market structure, and so on. So, that's where we're at right now. Short term, 4 hour bearish. So we can go ahead and jump on to other pairs now. Let's jump over to AU first. AU is pretty interesting. We covered this two times this week, and I'll get to the 4-hour in a second. I just want to go back to the daily here, show you guys that this is primarily bearish, very strong bearish channel, and we had a huge amount of bearish volume here. And then we had this pullback, which is a 4-hour bullish trend, and I will show you on this 4-hour, very strong 4-hour bullish trend. It just keeps pushing higher and higher. Good amount of volume. We're getting good structure, good pattern formation. So everything's pretty clear on this 4-hour for AU. So this is where I've been kind of, hanging out lately, looking for confirmations. And we do see that this is making a transition to the upside. We do have a pretty large bullish channel here. This is the low of the channel. This is the high of the channel. Right now, we're near the high, but we also broke significant weekly resistance and as well as this zone. And it's looking like it's coming back for a little bit of a retracement. This is showing a weak bullish trend, right? So if you look to the left here, this is super strong. See all these bullish variations? It's like big ass bullish candle after big ass bullish candle after big ass bullish candle. So that's a strong trend, right? And now it's consolidating. It's still moving up, but it's consolidating and it's not, it's not showing as much volume as before. So this shows that things could be weakening and could give us an opportunity to hit a retracement level on a lower time frame. So let me show you what this fib level could look like. Right? Fib it from low to high. Boom. Right at the weekly, look what lines up, the 38.2 fib level. So this is now a good confluence area. So if this were to hit, right, if price action were to hit this level, it pull back through these MAs, right, either consolidate or reject heavily off the 38.2 end this weekly, and then potentially give us, bullish setups to then enter on. And this would be a 4-hour potential long opportunity, and we'd be targeting towards 0.675. So this is actually looking pretty good. It is a counter trend trade when you think about it in terms of the higher time frame, the daily, but it's very likely based on the confirmations that we're seeing already. This is more or less wedge. This is probably better on a lower time frame, but you could just see here. I just quickly label this. This is weakening, right? This is not showing that much conviction. It's weakening similar to this over here. This is just a larger version of this, right? So it's consolidation, then it fails, and it pulls back, and then we could see that next leg higher. But we're a few confirmations away from that potential setup, so we'll be waiting. But this is looking pretty clear, especially with this 38.2 lining up right with the weekly. So short-term long on AU. But what's the other scenario, right? Let's say that the daily time frame comes into play, the bearish sentiment comes into play here, and we just see a surge of bears. How do we enter on this? I want to see it drop pretty heavily from here. You could get in on some sort of lower time frame retest in this area, something like this. All right, you want to see it break there. I'm going to make this yellow. Right, you want to see something like this, a break below this, and then a swift retest. Then you could target towards the bottom of this bullish channel. But then ultimately, again, we're looking for that daily move. That's why we would be considering, shorts, because the daily move, the daily time frame is very bearish. So we'd be looking for a larger move to take place, which would happen after this 0.64 handle was broken. We need something like this. Let me just adjust this for you guys. Get it better. You can see it more clearly. So again, for that daily move, right, we would need to see something like this. We need to see 0.64 broken pretty significantly, something that, shows a transition from this bullish channel to, potentially a bearish channel. And then you get in on a lower high, right? Something like that. And then we would target lower towards, significant levels, significant support levels. So let's go ahead and jump to the daily and see if that makes sense. It does, right? This would be a nice continuation to the downside. And this would just be a confirmed retracement, and we would see a lot of bearish volume if this transition were to take place and we got the right confirmation. So I do like to give you guys both scenarios. Pretty much anything's possible in the market. Right now, the best we could do is see what's going on at current price action, which is this move here, this potential continuation of this 4-hour bullish trend. So that's the short term, and then I'll give you guys this long term or higher time frame short opportunity. So we're kind of ready for anything. We're just waiting for these confirmations and seeing how things play out. So that's AU. Move on to AJ. Looking pretty similar to AU, right? So here I already have these marked, the two potential scenarios. Right now, again, this is here's that rising wedge. This is very strong bullish trend right here. Large volume bullish candle after large volume bullish candle, and now we have consolidation. It's still rising, so that's showing to me that it's weakening. This trend is weakening pretty good, and it's forming. It's in a good spot right now because it's weakening at the right area. We want to see it weaken at the top of this bullish, channel. It's coming right off this like trend line here. For it to pop out would be very nice. It would hit this 38.2, which lines up with this weekly zone. Again, there's a lot of confluence right there. This should be a really nice long opportunity. Much like AU, this is actually cleaner looking, again. So this would be a really nice trade. So it's about 275 pips at the top of this higher time frame trend line. And about 90 pip stop loss outside of that weekly support zone. So it's like a 3-1 risk reward. Really, really good. Risking 1% to get 3%. So this would be a really nice trade. And then here's the potential scenario of a bearish trade. So we know that it's primarily bearish in the higher time frames. So we want to see, if it does go bearish, we want to see strong rejection from this weekly, and then we want to see these 4-hour transitions, in this area. So like this here, let me show you. So we would want to see, a transition of this 4-hour, this yellow zone right here, which is, let me mark it, pretty much right at, where is it, 6875. So you want to see that level break, retest it, and then also 67.5 break, retest it. And this would be more of a daily move. This would have a lot more significance because this is a daily zone. It's very, very strong. So that would be a very large move to the downside, down towards other major higher time frame support levels. But right now we are more bullish because this 4-hour trend is just showing us that we're just waiting for these confirmations. I want to see the break out of here, give us a confirmed higher low with those bullish setups, and then boom, we're long, right? But again, if that doesn't happen, we just be considering that higher time frame short opportunity. We would want to see it get back below this support, and then we'll start looking for those transitions around these support levels down here, 68.75 and 67.5. So let's go on to the next one. Give me 1 second. All right. So next is EU, which is pretty interesting right now as well. Again, these are all looking pretty similar. They're all kind of losing steam right now. So in these trends. So we had a very strong bullish trend right here, right? Very strong bullish trend, huge volume, bullish candles. And now we're consolidating. It's kind of just weakening, right? The bullish volume is kind of dying. And, we could be seeing a transition from this current level, especially since it's such a significant resistance level. So yeah, we're in a little bit of a bullish channel. We're getting a 4-hour engulfing right now. And we could see this transition happen, in which case we could have a short opportunity happening right as we get this transition. Right as we get this transition happening here. So I'd love to see this pop out, give us this lower high, and then we could get in on bearish setups. And then we could target down towards the bottom of this range. This is looking, you can trade ranges. There will be some high probability trades in here. I do like a clean transition in a clear trend. Ranging is, it has its pros and cons. But this is very bearish overall on the higher time frame, on this daily time frame here. Super strong bearish channel. And ideally we wanted to see a break of this range, so then we can catch a larger move down to our monthly support level around 1.06. But right now, it pulled back, and it's still holding this range. So this is pretty far away from, a super conservative entry, but there is definitely a reduced risk entry in here. Maybe 0.5% you could use to ride this down to the bottom of this range after we see these confirmations happen. But yeah, we're watching this one. It's definitely interesting. You could see how well it's respecting this level. Like if you caught this short here or here, these are really good trades. Tight stop losses, 200 pips. You would have been, like a 2.5 risk reward at least. So definitely good. Definitely good potential setups in those areas. So let's keep going. That's EU. I got EJ in gold for you guys. And then I'm going to pass this off to Angelo. So EJ is looking a little more clear. So if we go to the daily, we can see that it's definitely bearish, strongly bearish, huge bearish volume, strong bearish channel. All right, so let's go ahead and drop down to the 4-hour and see what's happening at current price action. So we had a bit of a fake out. This really looked like it was going to dump, especially after it had broken this monthly, retested, gave us this mini head and shoulders pattern, and then continued lower. It really looked like it was going to drop, but then it just didn't have the volume. It just did not have the bearish volume whatsoever. It just completely stalled, pulled back, and then came right back to the monthly and gave us, our lower time frame transition, both on the 1 hour and 4 hour. Now we're here. The 4 hour is still yet to be confirmed because I want to see structure form after this, conviction has happened, this bullish conviction happened. But it does look like it's weakening, right? Very strong bullish candles. Again, a lot of volume. And then boom, we have consolidation. It's still rising. This is looking like a wedge. So we could see, this is the common pattern that we're actually seeing right now. Again, everything's kind of just losing steam, which is a good sign because that means, we have opportunities to get in on, retracements. So like it's looking like a wedge right here, right? So I would love to see it fall out, give us a fib level, give us some like clear structure. Let me just extend this over. More like this. Love to see it pull down again to either the 38.2 or the 61.8. These are our ideal zones. And it would make sense for it to price action to fall out right here, right at this 118.5 handle, which is a good 4 hour level. So I'd love to see it pull back, give us that retracement, give us those bullish confirmations, and then we're long. Boom, and then we could target much higher up to this daily trend line, the top of this channel, which would make a lot of sense, which would still very much fit this, this outlook, this trend, and this channel. If we get a pullback, it's it's still bearish in this higher time frame, but it does make a lot of sense at why it would come back. EJ loves to make these pushes and then these deep pullbacks, which is kind of what we're seeing right now. So, definitely a long opportunity in here. And, we're just waiting for those confirmations. Always looking for the most conservative, highest probability trade. And that would be this blue path exactly right here, right? Fall out of price action from this current zone. We're at 118.5. Boom, it drops. Get in on these bullish confirmations right off of these fib levels. So that'd be absolutely perfect. So be ready for that one. Again, here's a 200 EMA. A lot of confluence here. A lot of confluence. So that's EJ. Next, we got gold. And this one is setting up really nicely. There's going to be a long opportunity very, very soon. It looks like it's like we're establishing a double bottom. Let me just jump up time frames, and then we'll get to that in a second. So gold, very bullish, right? It has been for quite a while. Very, very bullish trend. We saw that this monthly zone right here was testing as resistance. It held, gave us huge rejection, came back, finally broke, and now is holding a support with a lot of exhaustion. So that's a really good sign. That shows that this is a very strong trend. So it broke, right? Here's that break over here, and now here's these tests once, twice, 3 times. A lot of exhaustion, and it's consolidating. And then we finally got this breakout after a few higher lows had formed. Very, very good. Very good sign. And now we're testing a support here, right at this structure zone, which is really good because, it's above these prior highs. So this is showing that there's still a lot of bullish volume in this pair on gold. So we'll be looking long right now, actually. If I do see, enough, bullish confirmations right where we are, or if it, falls back to the 17-15 area and then gives us some more confirmation, that would be reason enough to enter. And we're still looking to get up to this 1800 handle and potentially even higher. But, this is the next, relevant zone. There are talks of gold going much higher than 1800. Just because the sheer demand aspect. But, as of right now, this is the next zone that we're looking for, 1800. Very, very likely that it's going to get there. I've been calling this for months, it feels like now. So, yeah, we're looking for entries pretty much from this area or the 17-15. So you're looking for engulfings, bullish variations, morning stars, tons of exhaustion, moving average crosses, lower time frame transitions, anything like that that would support, this long opportunity. But, yeah, we're definitely getting the 1800. So that's interesting. All right, so quick recap. This has been DXY, AU, AJ, EU, EJ, and gold. All right, so Angelo's going to cover a few more for you guys. Hopefully you guys got a lot out of this. And hopefully a lot of your analyses line up with this.
Yes, sir. So we'll post up pretty much any pairs that Nick is thinking about entering on the lower time frames. We'll post up in the premium analysis, for members only. And then the higher time frame analysis, we are going to update. You can go back into this analysis group right here. You can go back earlier in the week. All of our analysis higher time frame has been posted. You can simply click on one of them, play it forward, see how the analysis for that week was, based on what we originally had thought, read through and try to make sense of it. Try to make sense of, the ideas had a rising wedge here, fell out. So definitely go through. That's another layer of this whole entire free, learning experience for you guys. Pop in there. Obviously, we got the live trading sessions that you can rewatch in there. And yeah, so let's go over to my charts. We're going to take a look at some of the major pairs. Definitely some interesting things going on right now in the market. Yeah, if you guys want to get in on the giveaway, drop your Discord name in the chat right now. I'm going to collect them all at the end. A little $20 giveaway for everyone that's coming through these sessions. So just drop your Discord name in the chat. If you're not in Discord, I'll drop the link right now for you guys. And you guys can join up. That's the link. So you guys can use that to get inside. So definitely want to take advantage of this little discount that we're doing. So that's good. We'll announce that following this session. And let's take a look now. Let's bump over to GU. We're going to start with this little trade idea that we put out yesterday. It's looking interesting right now. So we're on the weekly time frame. As always, we want to start top-down analysis. Very bearish, moving averages all pointing downward. This one slightly pointing downward. Last week closed, a lot of bearish volume. We got this pullback. Let's just start to cycle down until we can see structure, a little bit more clearly. So on this daily time frame, we had our high to our low, retested 618 level right here with that double top. We just broke below this daily support level right now. And there's a lot of confluence here, on this retest, a lot of confluence on the retest. I'm going to continue because we're bearish on the weekly, daily. Let's go to the 4 hour, use this for structure. So now that we're on the 4 hour, most recently we saw a break of this level right here, this little transition, boom, boom. So I fibbed from this high to this low all the way down here. We're going to actually adjust this slightly to this level. So I fibbed from high to low, have our supply zone up here, had this retracement, pulling back. We were expecting this to happen. This was that daily resistance that I retested. We started to get this, we got this bearish engulfing, which led me to get in on a little position. Now we're getting a little bit of a pullback. But we can go down now all the way to the 30-minute. And on this, higher time frame, what is my confirmation here? We originally forecasted, to come up, retest this level, drop off. We're starting that right now. We're starting to see that happen. We got 618 up here. We've got this resistance level, 4 hour bearish engulfing. That's 3 confirmations. So then from there, I'll bump down. 30-minute, what's the 30-minute looking like? This was most recently our significant level of structure right here, and then we formed this one as well. Ultimately, I shorted based on break of this, retest of these highs, and then we just had all this volume come in. So we had this lower high form that respected this level. So I shorted at that point. We went into some profit. Now we're pulling back, which is completely fine. Let's just be mindful that this thing could retrace all the way up to this level. This thing has a lot of room right now. This thing could retrace all the way up to this level until this level breaks this random line. We are still confident. If we come down, double bottom, moving averages cross, and then we start to break, we'll consider exiting. But right now we're just waiting. At the moment, if this is going to continue lower, right now is, we got to wait and see if this is going to be a level that holds for us. But for now, we're just going to maintain this trade, with GU, see if the volume kicks in here. If not, it'll probably retest these levels before heading lower. And, obviously we're late in the week now, so we'll we'll see as volume kicks in, over the next couple hours and tonight, what this pair is going to show us. So if you didn't get it on this trade and we do get something similar to this in this area, then that's going to be another entry for you guys. So be mindful of that. Another entry potentially could be coming up, on GU. So let's just wait on that. Let's go to NU. This trade we put into the signals with very low risk. I put 0.5 risk, and that's because this trade is extremely aggressive. So yesterday we went over all the way on this daily time frame, actually all the way on this weekly time frame. Most recently we had this bearish engulfing right here. So showing us that as of late, more sellers have been in control than buyers down to the daily time frame. Right here, this daily time frame has been forming some highs, forming some higher highs, and then ultimately this for me is just a healthy retracement. These maintains as moving average all the way up until this point. It takes a little dive here. So this is like do or die right now. This is the last level that this can potentially hold at for structure to be maintained down to this 4-hour right now. 4-hour broke structure based on this yellow zone. So there's this double bottom, broke below here, made a new low. Why am I saying that? And that's because we formed on the 4-hour, we formed this high, obviously been consolidating, but we formed this high, which broke above this level. We pulled back, moving average cross, double bottom here, moving averages cross again, retest this high, and then inevitably we broke this level. So that was a significant break for me right there. And then, retraced all the way up, no pullbacks, all the way up to this level, got this bearish engulfing here on the 4-hour, which led me to drop down. And just to take a look, whenever I'm lining up confirmations, right now we have the 4-hour supply zone. We're at 100% level in the fibs. We just got a 4-hour engulfing. Obviously, this is like our daily red zone that I have marked. So a lot of confirmation on the higher time frame. Now, as I bump to this lower time frame, I was simply looking at this, simply looking at 30-minute trends, what goes on with these 30-minute trends. This break that we just had is pretty minor, but if we just look, previously how the 30-minute, let's look at this leg right here. We had these highs form, no pullbacks, finally pull back here through the moving average, found support, came up, made a new higher low, found a new high. And then we had this very minor pullback right here. Pulled back, found support, came back through to retest these highs. Basically just shorting based on this. This is that 4-hour engulfing right now. So I do expect this to, as we're seeing right now, pull back, needs to find resistance again. It needs to find resistance again for us to obviously continue lower. It needs to maintain this level right there. So our stops are in a good spot. So, if we get another entry for this could be coming up. If we get that, variation through the moving averages, that would definitely be another entry on this. And then we'll just look to continue this. If not, if we pop above, then we're going to look to long because that's going to start to shift overall structure for us. So we'll send out some updates on this. So just going to continue to maintain those. Let's bump over to USEF. So this was a little trade that we were in that had told people to exit on because we're pulling back. We're pulling back now, all the way up to this level. So let's go up to the daily time frame and take a look, what the hell is going on with USEF. Start all the way on the weekly. The weekly, we had a lot of momentum here bullish. This actually crossed, little cross here. Then obviously had this inverted hammer, doji, fell below. So let's just go down to the daily time frame. This is a level that has been maintained so many times, this red zone. I do expect us to retest and get to that red zone. Daily time frame formed, multiple lower highs in a row at this point, multiple lower highs, which is definitely significant. We, on the 4-hour now, bump to the 4-hour time frame, we broke this level of support right here. So just 4-hour structure. First of all, we broke this level, formed a new low. Then we were just ranging, hit 100%, that trend line, came up, tested again, tested again. We shorted based on all this. Because we're short on the daily, the weekly, the 4-hour now the 4-hour short, we can continue to bump down to the 1 hour. We can go down to the 1 hour, we can take a look at 1 hour structure. This pair loves to consolidate though, which we definitely have to be mindful of. But pretty much we're not trying to get faked out right now. We're not trying to get faked out. We just popped up very similar to this, like this. We just popped up like this, very similar to this area. We're popping back up, finding support here. We don't want to get faked out. We want to wait for a nice pullback. And then as soon as we see all these variations, boom, 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 multiple times, all the moving averages are crossing. That's what we're going to look for to short this pair. So we're looking right now really to come up to this level right here. This is that 618 all the way up on that daily time frame. Remember, when we hit these deeper fib levels, we're not just going to shoot from the high all the way to the low. We're not going to shoot from the high all the way to the low. We're going to range. We're going to trend. So this is obviously a support level, now turn resistance, a couple of confirmations in there. So I'm going to look for that to come up into that level before shorting again. I'm just going to drop this in the premium channel for you guys. After this session, I'll get this uploaded. So that's USD CHF. Again, on the lower time frame, so I'm putting this in orange. This is my watch list. Keeps me very organized what I'm doing. These are trades that I'm currently in. These are trades on the lower time frame I'm looking for setups on. This is red is like higher time frame, so I'm still waiting. So let's go to UCAD. UCAD again, another potential short on UCAD. So let's take a look. UCAD, I'm actually, been very, very accurate on with my analysis as of the last week. UCAD, I've been, as of the last 3 weeks, UCAD I've been on. So right now we want to look, where are we on this daily time frame? Forming these lower highs, boom, 1, 2, 3, retesting this level of support that is weakening right now. Tested 1, 2, 3 times. Go down to the 4-hour time frame. 4-hour, let's just look at structure. Broke this level. This had formed a higher low, retested the high and failed. So we broke this level, had this healthy retracement, had this very nice trade up in this area. Now we're all the way at these lows. We're all the way back at these lows now. We just retested that red zone. So it's bumped down to the 1 hour. 1 hour time frame, looking fairly nice, getting some lower highs forming, have these lows here, a little bit of a descending triangle coming into play now, which is a continuational pattern. So we're looking to continue this. Honestly, even at the moment, I would consider, based on how this closes, remember, we need this to cross. We need this to cross here. If we were to trade this, we would put this above these highs. These highs are what's protecting us right now, and this red zone. So I'd put this at around 70 pips. This is looking really good. And then what we would target is we would just use this 4-hour fib level, for some targets. And inevitably, if this does fall below, we're trying to get down to that monthly level all the way down to the bottom. So I'm going to look over the next 20 minutes on USD CAD, wait for some closure on this 1 hour and see what's good. Because even if we come down to the 30-minute, 30-minute time frame is giving us exactly what we need. 30-minute structure, pulled back, double top, retest this low, came back, retested, fell below. So we're getting really what we want. Continuational pattern below this level. That's exactly what we want to see here. So we'll wait and see on closure, with this pair before doing anything. So that's UCAD. We're going to chill on the 1 hour. I'm also going to put this one in the premium analysis for you guys. So I'll put that in afterwards. And then we got UJ. So UJ is interesting. I feel like people are very confused right now with UJ. Let's go up to the weekly and just reiterate what we've talked about multiple times so far this week is open the week, inverted hammer, pulling back now, a lot of indecision at this weekly support level, starting to pull back down to the daily time frame. Very bearish, very bearish. Made this lower high, pulled back, made this lower high. Remember we talked about on the daily time frame, until this is broken, this red zone, we are bearish. Until that's broken, we are bearish. We are looking for this to come up into this level. Down to the 4 hour, we are bullish. Made this high, made this higher low. Now we just made a new high. Look at that 4 hour engulfing there. That 4 hour engulfing definitely changes things up for us. I was looking at this break, break of support here, boom, and then I was looking for maybe a retest and some sort of fall off up at this level. So this is a good lesson. The 4 hour showed us that engulfing, but the 30-minute trend is still bearish. So that engulfing, even though it showed for us, as I bump down timeframes, does not confirm that I should long it. Does not confirm. So as I go to the 30-minute, what needs to happen on this 30-minute time frame is I need another 4 hour engulfing. I need to break this level of structure that's now being established. These moving averages are crossing. This needs to break for me to get long. Actually, at the moment with UJ, I am looking to short. I am looking to short, and why is that? The daily time frame is bearish. Daily time frame is bearish. Weekly time frame is bearish, in the sense that moving averages red over blue. Daily time frame, this is our last lower high, and now we're pulling back. Always want to get in on these levels. This is a potential lower high now at the 618. Showing some rejection there. At the same time, though, on the daily time frame, we do have some confirmation. We have the 618, we have resistance. So this is a little level here. 4 hour time frame obviously had a little bit of a pullback at that point. And then let's go down all the way to the 30-minute time frame. 30-minute is where I start to confirm my shift. Look previously on this 30-minute. All of these, this high or low, pulled back to the moving average, found support. Pulled back to the moving average, found support. These have all been maintained. Again, found support, maintain. This level breaks. This level breaks. This shows me that transition is happening. It shows me that transition is happening. Very similar to this trend all the way back here is we had this was a confirmed lower high, maintain below, little pullback, lower high here, maintain below, pullback right here, lower highs were formed. Then we had the break. Boom, broke above, retest, first high or low. Then we started to get long. So that's a nice transition. I'm looking at this as another nice transition for us, to get into. We wanted to bring in, a little trend line action as well. This one's gonna be a little bit sloppy, so I wouldn't even bring that on. But yeah, no, definitely a nice little transition coming on. So again, if you're long on UJ, if that's your bias, I'm looking to wait till we break above here to long anything. If you're trying to short, potential shorts are coming up. Potential shorts are coming up right now, honestly. So I'm gonna change this. A lot of opportunity right now. USEF, UCAD, and UJ. All the pairs that I have right now are getting ready to make a move. So I'm gonna drop all that analysis for you guys in the chat. So you guys get ready, as well. I just dropped the Discord link. So if you guys want to get in on this $20 giveaway, this is the last giveaway of the week. Just post your Discord name into the chat. Post your Discord name into the chat. Not a lot of people today are submitting, so you got a high chance of winning $20. And you can put the $20 in your account, put $20 towards signals with us or whoever. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I just went over GU, NU, USEF, UCAD, UJ. Those are all the pairs that I have to go over for today. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it for me. We'll post these updates after the session. Just to recap, Nick went over, what would you go over again?
It's XY, AU, AJ, EU, EJ, and gold. And guys, just a reminder, this is the last live session for the week. Again, it's only Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So make sure to, take advantage of these free resources, get in them before the weekend, and prepare for, next week. That's the Sunday Market Blitz with us. So.
Hell yeah. So for you guys that are interested, there's now only 4 spots left in our sale that we got going on. Normally $4.99, it's $2.99 right now. So there was 10 spots. Now there are 4 spots. I'm just going to continue to update that in the Telegram, in the Discord. So if you guys that want to get involved with the team, want to do your first call with us, just shoot me a message after this, and yeah, we'll get started. So hope you guys enjoyed the session. I'm going to go ahead, just grab all your names here. We'll post the giveaway winner right after this chat, and enjoy the rest of your day. Best of luck trading as always, and enjoy your weekend.
Oh yeah, thank you guys.
Peace.